What's going on? Let's get this fixed up a little bit here. There we go. All right. And get both of my chats up here. Okay. What's going on, guys? Do you see this out here? Over the next 5 to 7 days, we could see in the highest peaks out in the Northwest, and I'm not lying, over 10 feet of snowfall. 10 feet. You want to say hi to stream? Well, this is an early one, Fisher. You got in here right as I started. Here, Fisher has to say hi. 1 second, guys. Okay. Say hi to stream. Say good morning, stream. Why you can say good morning, stream. He gets nervous on camera. Good morning, stream. Good job.
This is grandma's.
Yeah. Put that over there on the chair.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, what's going on, guys? Marissa, Katie, what's up? Hi from Door, Alabama. Night, what's going on? Shelly, Hayla, Leanne. Morning from Central New York. Probably a little cold out there. Already got 2 inches of snow in my neck of the woods. Nice. Do you still think New Jersey and Mid-Atlantic will have those nor'easter? Yeah. I think we'll get that this winter. Yep. This storm is going to be a light snow, probably Maryland, maybe some Delaware, Virginia, a little bit Kentucky, Tennessee, Northern North Carolina. How much snow is Maryland going to get tomorrow? A dusting to 3 inches. 1 to 3 inches depending on where you are. Probably 1 to 2 inches depending on where you are. Guys, we'll get to this in a second. I'm going to start going over everything. Yeah, I'm gonna go over everything. And then I'll start taking your questions like normal. Big stories of the day. We have record-breaking temperatures. Record-breaking temperatures. I was looking at my weather app yesterday, and it was saying that we were going to get down to -6 where I live, south of Minneapolis, and I said that was wrong. We're going to get a little bit colder than that. I think I said on stream, maybe -11. We did get to -11, not counting wind chill. We got to -11 degrees. Wind chill was at like -15 or something like that where I am this morning. I think right now our temperatures, let's see what the temperature outside where I am is. Temperature outside is -7 right now with the wind chill of -11. Take a look at this. Our lows. A lot of areas hit record lows last night. There you go. See portions of Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota likely. Record temps. These record temps are going to shift out to the east tomorrow. We're going to see record-breaking lows everywhere out here. Tons of people are going to get record-breaking lows. While we're seeing record high lows out in the Pacific Northwest. That's what the circle is. Florida is going to be baking. Florida's going to be baking on Sunday. Record high lows. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine having a low of 70? Is that a low of 70 degrees in December? A low of 70 degrees in December. That's crazy. Pushing on towards next week, we're still expecting more record lows from the Mid-Atlantic up to New England. More record lows. More record high lows. So this is warm. Pacific Northwest. Here's the latest over the next 72 hours from the Probabilistic Precipitation Portal, Weather Prediction Center, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You guys got all that? Hope so. I'm not saying it again. All right. 1 second. Let me expand this so we can see it just a tad bit better. Yeah. Okay. This will be good. All right. Up here, we're looking at big totals over the next 72 hours. Maybe 50 plus inches for some of these people. Look at that. Next 72 hours, 70 plus inches. So some good snow out here in the Rockies. Some good snow out here in the Rockies. Low elevation snow up there in eastern Montana. Good snow up here in and around Seattle in the mountains, and then up here through the Cascades. Over the next 72 hours, snowfall expected out here. Some more snow for us. Oh my gosh. We are just increasing the snowpack because guess what? We're either, I mean, I don't think Minneapolis gets below freezing again in December. I mean, above freezing. We haven't been above freezing in a while. I don't think we get above freezing in December. I'm not even kidding. I think we're going to go maybe a record. We might hit a record length of below freezing just because of the constant push of cold air up here. So the snowpack stays. Snowpack stays for a lot of people up here. We're going to get out to the east in a second. But again, we're seeing widespread 1 to 4 inches, depending on where you are. Looks pretty good. Around northeastern Nebraska, southeastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, Minneapolis. Maybe we get another 1 to 2 inches. These totals are could end up being a little bit higher because this is falling on top of snow. None of it is melting. It's sticking. It's accumulating very quickly. So if you go to the high end, I don't think it's totally crazy. Oh, great. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Possibly the worst website ever. The Weather Prediction Center, NOAA.gov, literally crashes every... I was surprised I didn't see a crash there in 6 minutes. Holy smokes. One second, guys. Holy smokes. Oh, my gosh. Anyways, okay. We'll go back to that in a second. We'll actually use a website that works since... there you go. Okay? It's going to crash every 5 minutes on us. It's so annoying. Let's see if we can see high end. Thank you. Maybe it's this high-quality graphics that makes it crash. I'm being sarcastic. High-end, I mean, look at this. High-end, maybe we see up to 8 inches in this area, which would be crazy on top of the snow we already have. So, 5 to 6 inches into Minneapolis on the high end. Iowa, again, this is, we're talking about in this circled area, potentially on the high end, 4 to 8 inches. Western Michigan, UP Michigan, it's more lake effect. Now, down here, our high end, if we get super lucky for you guys out here in the south, portions of the south mid-Atlantic, maybe you get 1 to 2 inches up through central New Jersey, maybe down into Philly, southern Jersey. Maybe Maryland sees 3 to 5 inches on the high end. Maybe Virginia sees 4 to 8 inches on the high end. Maybe West Virginia sees 3 to 4 inches on the high end. Maybe Eastern Kentucky sees 1 to 2 inches on the high end. Tennessee, here, let's go to expected amounts, though. Expected, a dusting to a half an inch up through Maryland. Now, I think this is wrong. I think we're actually going to get more snow than this through Maryland and Delaware, but that's fine. Dusting to a half an inch. Central to southern New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Central Virginia looks pretty decent expected, 1 to 2 inches of accumulation. And I don't think you're going to have a mixing problem, especially once you get to the Virginia border. I think there's going to be a little bit of a mixing problem in northern North Carolina down here. But Boone, mountains, high elevation, you guys could see a few inches from this as well. The target area is definitely... you can see our target area for heavy snow right through this region here. The latest HRRR puts about an inch up here. So interesting. We'll see if the probabilistic precipitation, where we go. We'll see if the probabilistic precipitation portal increases that. Next 72 hours, going into upstate New York, not bad. Snow up here. What do we have up here? Syracuse or something? Watertown out of Syracuse, out towards Rochester. Maybe you guys get a few inches. Expect it. Maybe on the high end, you guys get a little bit more, maybe 3 to 8 inches on the high end. So that's what's going on. I'm going to get to your guys' questions in a second. So, if anyone's in Oklahoma, let me know if you're seeing the snowfall, by the way. Anyone seeing the snowfall out here in Oklahoma? Or did you see any this morning? Northern Panhandle of Texas, Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to get to all your questions in a second. Some nice moisture moving through down here, portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and moving into Georgia, Panhandle of Florida. Not expecting too much severe weather, but general thunderstorms. General thunderstorms are possible down here. Thunder and lightning. Just answer the question. We don't got all day, buddy. Wait, what? What? Yeah, Marissa, Kitty, Jasmine, Lauren, Jason, PC, Tufts. What's going on? There's no fall in OKC anymore, and I'm in OKC. No snowfall, you're saying? I know, some people are a little bit rude, I don't blame them. I blame their parents. All right. Anyways, getting back to... Oh, that's the wrong one. That's me. Getting back to... last thing I want to go over before I get to questions. Really quickly, we are breaking records. I just went over this, but we are breaking records. Here you go. Well, it's not going to show it now because we're at the 12Z. But tons of we broke tons of records up here through portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Eastern Nebraska, Northern Missouri, and Illinois. Last night, I woke up here. It was 11 degrees. Wasn't supposed to be that cold. Record-setting low temperature. Here's today or tomorrow. Record low temperatures from Missouri all the way out towards New England. Record lows. Record all-time recorded history lows for December 5th. Not like the lowest that's ever been in any day of the year. For December 5th, coldest it's ever been potentially out here in recorded history. Not ever, because believe me, it's been much colder. In the major ice ages, it gets colder than this. I think that goes without saying. And final thing, guys, we have an atmospheric river that's going nuts in the Pacific Northwest. I'm talking about, like I said, I just have to show it before I take questions. Like I said, this is out of control. This is actually out of control. 15 inches of precipitation is possible in the next 7 days. 15 inches of precipitation up here in the Pacific Northwest. By the way, if it's cold enough, snowfall, if it's cold enough, 1 inch of precipitation can lead up to 15 inches of snow. So you do the math. You do the math on that. But 10 feet plus of snow is possible up here through portions of the Northwest. It's going to be warm. A lot of this is going to fall as rain at the lower elevations, but flooding is going to be a serious issue over the next 7 days up here. And by the way, you want to know why our European model, well, not just our European model, all of our globals are showing tons of snow, specifically for the upper Midwest, Great Lake region in New England? That's because all of this moisture through our atmospheric river is feeding into our jet stream, is feeding into well below average temperatures. So you have clipper after clipper after clipper after clipper after clipper after clipper that wants to set up here, moving through. Here you go. Snow for the upper Midwest, New England. 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 Snow for the upper Midwest. So as you can see, the pattern's kind of crazy. We'll see. It's going to fall on top of a very cold snowpack already. Lots of stuff to talk about. And I think I'm ready to get to questions now. Just look at the Northwest. Look at this river. Look at this river of moisture nonstop into the Northwest. Look at that. Crazy. All right, let's get into questions. What about Atlanta? Atlanta's going to get a lot of rainfall here over the next few days. Precipitation-wise, if you're talking about Atlanta, we're looking pretty wet and wild down here in the southeast. Atlanta down to Montgomery, New Orleans out to Jacksonville, up to Columbia, Savannah, and then to the Outer Banks. Virginia Beach snow, maybe. Let's look at this real quick. What are our temperatures going to be like throughout the day tomorrow and tomorrow morning when the snow's moving through? Let's take a look at the HRRR and see what it sees. Temperatures, surface. And let's go to we don't have Virginia on here. Of course we don't. All right. We'll go to the Mid-Atlantic. There you go. Temperatures moving into Friday morning. Now they're going to drop a little bit as the storm system moves over with clouds. It's a little bit warm out here. You can see down here in southeastern Virginia, we're trying to stay high 30s, low 40s. That's going to be difficult for snow to fall right in there, right in that region. That's going to be difficult. Southeastern Virginia right here. Now, you get out into this area, even up through here, much easier for snow to fall. You're below freezing. And, again, this is what I'm talking about with northern North Carolina as well. A lot of these temperatures are right on the line of freezing, if not a little bit above. So mixing through here could potentially be an issue. What is the latest totals expected from the Cuchera? Here you go. Latest totals expected from the Cuchera. Maybe a dusting up there in Philly. A dusting to a ½ inch. Southern Jersey, Delaware. A dusting to 1.5 inches potentially. DC, the HRRR thinks 1 inch to 1.5 inches of accumulation is possible. Baltimore, pretty close. Maybe a dusting to 1 inch. Southern Delaware, not bad. Most of Virginia, 2 to 4 inches, somewhere in that range, except for, of course, southeastern Virginia, maybe left out a little bit. West Virginia, not too bad. And then moving back a little bit towards, let's go to Tennessee and Kentucky and Tennessee. Little strip of snow possible out here. Chicago is going to snow. Is Chicago going to snow? Let's go take a look at Illinois. Here is... Let's go to our Euro. Let's go to the latest Euro. 06Z. Let's just look at here. Let's look at our snowfall potential out here. Through the next... We'll say here. We'll push out 144 hours through the end of 06Z. Here's some potential up here for Chicago. Somewhere 2 to 6 inches maybe. If these clipper systems hit you right. But falling on top of a snowpack you already have. So it could accumulate pretty good. What's going on, Emmanuel? Sage? Halo, what's going on? Clipper coming into Wisconsin tonight. Here's what's expected tonight. Up there in the... Let's push back out to the upper Midwest. Here's what's going on tonight in the upper Midwest. Let's get into our 12Z. A little bit of snowfall, northern Wisconsin. And then look at this. Moving into tomorrow. Central to northern Wisconsin could get some decent snow. This might put down an inch, maybe 2 inches down into Minneapolis as well tomorrow. And then this is going to force, of course, some lake effect snow again out in Michigan, UP of Michigan, you're going to get dumped on. Taking a look at the HRRR really next 48 hours. Again, you can see the snow down there in the south, moving up towards the mid-Atlantic. Snow up there in the upper Midwest, moving towards the Great Lake region. And then just tons and tons of snow for the central and northern Rockies out there, and tons of rainfall for the PNW, low elevation. I'm using Weatherbell right now. I have to have a commercial license because I stream it, so I pay $70 a month. But I think without a commercial license, it's only like $12 a month or something like that. But you can also use Pivotal Weather, which is free. I also pay for Pivotal Weather, but you can use Pivotal Weather, and you can see most of this for free. You can see the models on there. I really like Weatherbell's presentation. You get teleconnections. Oh, by the way, you guys want to see what the snowpack is right now? Weatherbell's the best. There's our snowpack. There's where we have snow on the ground. I'm a little bit worried about some of the southern snow fading a little bit right in through here as we move throughout the week and temperatures fluctuate. But if you guys want a cold winter, it's nice to have an early snowpack for multiple reasons. I talked about this in my video I uploaded this morning. It's on my YouTube. Cold air, as it moves across the North American landmass, it begins to warm up unless you have a layer of snow, layer of ice across the North American landmass. That cold air stays cooler as it moves to the south. So early season snowpack allows for the transfer of colder air down to the south. To kick off winter, that's good. That just promotes a colder and colder winter. Also, by the way, snow is white, in case you didn't know. Usually at the end of winter, it's black, but it reflects the sunlight. So instead of the North American landmass absorbing sunlight, heating up, it says, get out of here. And that sunlight bounces off the surface and goes back up into the atmosphere. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And that's another thing that keeps surface temperatures cooler. So early season snowpack is pretty good. I don't know if this is, what was our snowpack like last year around this time? What's the date today? December 4th. December 4th. Oh man, it was bad. Okay, so this was our snowpack last year at this time, guys. This was our snowpack last year at this time. Look at that. And look at that. That's good. That's good for a cold landmass. Plenty of ice. Plenty of ice. We're connecting up here in the northern hemisphere. We're packed. Siberia is running above average on snowfall as well. So that's good for our cold air transfer down to the States for a colder winter. As an average, has NOAA released their latest 3 to 4 week temp outlook? As of, this was November 28th. Let me see here. 8 to 14 day, issued December 3rd. That is pretty interesting. Here is, actually, let's not use that. Here's our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. So from December 11th to December 17th, zoop, cold, hot, Burr. Bleh. Cold. Hot. So that's the 8 to 14. That was issued yesterday. Now, 6 to 10 day, was this issued yesterday as well? The 6 to 10 day was issued yesterday as well. This is our 6 to 10 day. Not much different from our 8 to 14 day. Precipitation-wise, no surprise in the 6 to 10 day. Atmospheric river. Crazy. SpongeBob begging for water down in the south. And that stays through the 8 to 14 day. You stay very, very dry in the south. So that's 3 to 4 week outlook. 3 to 4 week outlook. We stay cold up here in the northeast. Warm down there in the southwest. Precipitation-wise, this is good for the East Coast as we enter into Christmas time. Below average temperatures, above average precipitation is expected from the mid-Atlantic up through New England. All right, let me get back to questions. Yeah, Texas, warm and dry. We'll see. Could get a big flip in January. Wait, what happened, Leanne? Do I need to open my Discord? One second. Oh, wait. And you're in Oklahoma, right? Oh, nice. So so we do have some snow in Oklahoma. Nice. Oh, awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, it's free. Link is in the description of all my YouTube videos and lives. But we got our weather crew in here posting pictures of accumulated decent amount of accumulation for this time of year in Oklahoma. So that's pretty nice. So snow tonight for St. Paul. I think into tomorrow. Yes. Tonight. Tomorrow. Yes. Southern Virginia, 1 to 2 inches is expected. Except for once you get out towards the southeast. I think it's going to be tough to get snow down in southeastern Virginia. Arshbo to Blisto, what's going on? What is going on? Does the MJO Phase 8 promote a colder winter for Texas? Sort of. North and eastern Texas. Let's go to our MJO forecast. It's going into Phase 8 quickly, but it's collapsing quickly. It's not super amplified. So here's the latest projections. Not bad. I mean, to start off, we're already about to enter Phase 8. If we're not in it yet, we might be in Phase 8 already. You can see right here through the first about 7 days, so maybe 3 more days, pretty amplified, but then it collapses and then it tries to build back up. As we get through December. Yeah, let me show you what the MJO composites look like. Any of you wondering, because I know you're all probably wondering, Connor, what do the MJO composites look like? Don't worry. Don't worry, I got you. I know you're all wondering that. 1 second. MJO composites. You want to know what it looks like in December for Phase 8. Here's Phase 8 in December. Right there. See it right there? So pretty cold for much of the states. Texas, typically, I mean, everyone east of this line typically is below average, but you get the real cold in this region, but still very cold for a lot of people. So that's kind of what we're entering right now. And this is very true. It's very true for what's going on right now. Where are we warm? Here. Where are we cold? Here. Except for here. But, you know, reigns, the MJO composites reign supreme. They always seem to be correct. Madden-Julian oscillation, Blaine, is a Madden-Julian oscillation. Let me just show you this real quick. Why not? And then we'll get back to questions. This is fun to know if you want to be able to do a little bit of outlooks and see what your area could see over time. I can't do full disk. Ew. So It's a blob of clouds, moisture, precipitation, low pressure system that forms off the eastern coast of Africa, north of Madagascar. And over a 1 to 3 month period, it depends. It typically is seasonal, 2 to 3 months, but sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. You got like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, phase 7, phase 8, something like that, right? Oh, guys can't see what I'm looking at. Shoot. I'll go back here. Okay. You typically got phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it slowly moves this low pressure system over the season out here. Now, once it gets out into 7 and 8 and then is getting ready to transition back into 1, it affects our troughing and ridging pattern out here over the states. Because this is a low pressure. This would be actually troughing like that. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. This would actually be troughing. So this can have a big influence, especially on our winter when we have an extremely variable polar jet that decides if we're hot, we're cold, if we're seeing snow, if we're not seeing snow. If we enter phase 8, typically phase 7 through phase 1, as we get into the coldest months of the year, you're going to see through certain areas of the country more cold air, more snowfall. And we can look at all of our composites throughout the last only about 25 years, because the MJO is a pretty new thing in meteorology. We didn't even know about it in the 80s. But we can look back through our composites and say, hey, when the MJO was in phase 7, 8, transferring back into 1, what was our conditions like in the United States? Where were we cold? Where were we snowy? And they seem to line up pretty good. The composites seem to line up pretty good. It's lining up perfectly right now. We're basically in an MJO phase 8 that says warm out west, cold out east. It's warm out west. It's cold out east. It almost always lines up if you have an amplified MJO, which we do right now, but it's about to crash down. Anyways, that's about it. There's the MJO there's a lot that we still don't know about it. It's a pretty new thing in meteorology. All right, let's get back to questions. I'm just going to do speed round for questions now. It's already white in the Midwest. It is pretty white in the Midwest. Cincy, Northern Kentucky. You know, we'll see. Some of these clippers could try to dive down a little bit farther to the south. You can see over the next about 10 days, most of the snow wants to stay just north of Cincy in Kentucky. You could see, if we get a little bit more of an amplified jet, how some of the snow could try to creep down into this area here. So we'll have to just watch how these models progress. Decided to run a 5K last night and 7-degree wind chills. Definitely got sicker. Yeah, that was pretty dumb, Matt. I woke up and it was -11 here. That was not the wind chill. It was just straight up -11. Right now, as I'm doing this live, it's -6 degrees here. -8 wind chill. Yeah, and all that cold air. Are you going to set records out there in Kentucky? Let me see what the low is here. Minimum daily records for tomorrow. You guys are going to get close. Guys could get into the teens with your low tomorrow. Chile. Is it too early to detect if Chicago will have a white Christmas? Kinda. I mean, with how our weather pattern is setting up and the amount of snow you guys could see in the next 7 days, if this pattern is accurate, which I definitely think it is out to a certain point, I think the 7-day expectation of snow through the upper Midwest, portions of the Great Lakes region in New England is pretty accurate. We know we're going to have this atmospheric river feeding an absolute barrage of cold air through these regions. That's going to just add to your snowpack in Chicago, and you're going to have good ratio snow. It's falling on top of an already snowpack. My thing is, I don't know if it's going to snow on Christmas for you guys, but I don't know if you get rid of your snowpack before Christmas. I don't think it's going anywhere with the temperature trend. So I would right now really expect Chicago to have snow on the ground, or maybe a decent amount of snow on the ground for Christmas. Is it going to actually be snowing? We have to wait longer for that. Cannon, Claudia, what's up? St. Louis, tough, because your snowpack's probably going to fade, and you're going to have to get some warmer temperatures. That's probably going to erase your snow in mid-December, and you're going to have to build that snowpack back up before Christmas. But it's possible. It's possible we drop into a negative NAO right before Christmas. We're still seeing signs of it, and then maybe you get a snowstorm right through here. You go out pretty late. You go out pretty far in the models here, and they do see, at least they try to see some warmth coming back to the east right before Christmas, setting up the plains for some more snow. We'll see. I think, let me look at the GFS. If the GFS has nope. This looks like a negative NAO. Big bomb of snow. Big bomb of snow for the east. This would include St. Louis around December 20th. This is 384 hours out, but that's what you want to see St. Louis for some potentially good snow right leading into Christmas. Maybe the GFS is correct. We'll see. Atlanta is going to be pretty warm down there. I don't know if you're going to have snow on the ground before Christmas. 31 with the wind chill of 25. That's chilly. That's chilly for the Southern Plains. Are you still releasing your Yes, I am. I just don't have enough time. I was going to do it this week, but I'm rushing in the morning to get all my content done and stream. On the weekends, I can take more time to make longer content. So I'll probably be putting those videos out Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. Not probably, I will be. January, outlook and Christmas forecast. Because if I'm doing a forecast, it could take me an hour and a half to 2 hours to make the video. Because I want to look through so many different, I have to start looking at climatological stuff, which is a lot more complicated. And I want to really try to get an accurate forecast for Christmas. And it takes longer to prepare for that. I can't do that when I'm rushing before I go to work during the weekday. So expect that this weekend. Cape Cod snow in December. Yeah, you guys have great opportunity for snow out there in December. Potentially still above average snow, even though you haven't really, got much or any so far. NTX, what's going on? Next snowfall for Dayton, Ohio. Interesting. Again, one of these clippers could try to dive down south and drop some snow. The latest Euro is looking only 80 hours out and seeing the potential for a little bit of snowfall in Dayton here, a little bit of accumulation. This would be Sunday afternoon. Appreciate it, NTX. Next snowfall for Chicago. Yeah, that could be snow right there. A little tiny bit of snowfall right there. Friday evening. And if you don't get that, this is looking pretty good for you guys. Sunday morning, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Pretty good clipper system potentially for Minneapolis. And then out there towards eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, central to southern Wisconsin, pushing down towards Indianapolis, Ohio, Michigan, and then out towards the northeast. Will Southeast Michigan schools get canceled because of cold? For tomorrow, what's your max temperatures tomorrow? At least from the latest information, what's your max temperatures? I don't know. You guys get up. Your highs are in the mid-20s, mid to upper 20s tomorrow. So your lows are pretty low. Your lows are down into the single digits. Some areas down into around 3 degrees. I don't know. I know that's not cold enough in Minnesota to cancel schools. I don't know how Michigan does it. My wife said in Minnesota they're not canceling school unless it's like below 20 degrees. Or it's like a negative 20 or below. But that happens multiple times a year in Minnesota. Next big snow for Youngstown, Ohio. Could be this weekend. We'll have to see if that jet dips down far enough because there is going to be some snow flying through Ohio this weekend. Potentially the whole state, potentially just the northern tier. There's not an anti-snow dome over New Jersey. You guys get snowfall every single year, although you've been running below your averages. You've been running below your averages. I expect the Mid-Atlantic to see above average snowfall this year, though. Any Long Island snowfall anytime soon? Our pattern's not too bad to get snowfall out there. Continuous push of cold to the west or to the east. The biggest issue you guys have is temperatures, and you have a continuous push of cold air out there. You see at the end of the Euro run right here, that would be snow for the Mid-Atlantic again. You guys keep getting these chances. This chance that we have tomorrow is going to happen, but it's kind of just southern Mid-Atlantic region, not hitting the northern portion, which is annoying, right? Because you're colder. But you continue to see cold air dive into the east. So, I mean, that's all you can ask for in December is below average temperatures in the mid-Atlantic, especially the coastal mid-Atlantic, because you guys are typically in at least early to mid-December, even sometimes late December, running a little bit above freezing, which is why you don't get snow. But you're not going to struggle with snow in December because of temperatures, because it looks like you're a pretty lock for below average air through December. It's just the timing of the moisture and the storm track. Now, I'm still staring at this time frame, December 11th and 12th, and saying, holy crap, that's an amplified jet with multiple low pressure systems that could form off the coast and move up the coast. So something to watch out for. I'd say middle of next week. Downtown Detroit next snowfall. Could maybe, if you get lucky, maybe see a little bit tomorrow, but this Clipper system will try to put snow into Detroit as well on Sunday. Probably just flurries. I wouldn't expect accumulation for that. Next accumulation looks to be Monday night into Tuesday morning, potentially. This would be a nice Clipper system through the upper Midwest. How's the GFS see this thing playing out? Kayla, I appreciate you. Snow for Chattanooga, Tennessee around Christmas? Too early to tell. Too early to tell. We still see a pattern that supports snow in the south, at least the chance for snow in the south. This is out towards the 20th of December, end of the run, but still expecting cold air to be diving out there. This would actually be snow in Chattanooga, Tennessee on the 20th of December, except for that the model being correct at 384 hours out is likely, or is impossible. Something like that, though, maybe. How bad is the rain going to be in Atlanta on Saturday? A lot of this rainfall looks like it's going to fall just south of Atlanta on Saturday. We'll see if it pushes up a little bit farther north. You guys could literally just miss it just to the north. We'll see. Because central to southern Georgia, at least central Georgia, looks like it's going to get slammed. Atlanta's pretty far north, though. We'll see. Atlanta's going to be right on that border of getting a few inches or getting almost nothing. The way this, you guys can see the way this rainfall is setting up here. This stream of moisture in here. Pretty tight. Do I think Oklahoma City snowfall will stick at all when it comes through? Well, your snowfall's kind of moving out right now. All right, let me go to the HRRR real quick. Let's push down there. States. Beautiful Oklahoma. Here we go. I don't know if you guys are going to see any more snowfall today. Okay, guys, I got to go. I appreciate everyone being in here. Mods, as always, I love you guys. You're the best. Claudia, I appreciate you. Everyone have a fantastic day. I will be back on tomorrow streaming more updates. I posted a full video on my YouTube of everything I went over in this stream. So if you missed it, you can watch the video. It'll tell you everything. I'll also posted some of the videos on my TikTok, Instagram. If you want to join the Climate Crew, link to my Discord is right down in the description of all my YouTube videos and YouTube live streams. It's awesome. Tons of weather content in there. Live updates every day. Weather enthusiasts, weather pictures, everything. It's great. Tons of cat pictures. I don't know why, but lots of cat pictures, some dog pictures. Detective Cannon, I appreciate you. But everyone have a fantastic day. I'll be back tomorrow. This weekend, hold me to it. Releasing my January outlook and my snowfall forecast for Christmas. Lock it in. All right. Everyone have a fantastic day. See you guys. Yep. Stay warm. Peace.